So let us talk about the chakras in detail. We are going to talk about the 7 major chakras of the human body. They start from the root chakra or the Mooladhara chakra. They move on to the Swadhisthana chakra or the sacral chakra, then to the Manipur chakra or the solar plexus chakra, then to the Anahat chakra or the heart chakra, to the Vishuddhi chakra or the throat chakra, the Agya chakra or the third eye chakra, and the Sahasrara chakra or the crown chakra. So the first chakra we are going to talk about is the root chakra or the Mooladhara or the Mooladhara chakra. Mool means fundamental and Adhar means the basis. So if you're sitting in a Padma Asana, the basic yogic posture for meditation, there is a point where the whole weight would fall, and that point specifically, is the point which is called as the Mooladhara chakra, because that is the point where the Mooladhara chakra is located. Now, what is fundamental to every person's life? The thing which is fundamental to every person's life is food, clothing, and shelter. So if a person doesn't get proper food or proper shelter, then he starts to fight, because there's a lot of insecurity. Sometimes he is fearful, oh, what will happen to me tomorrow? What will happen to me? I don't have money. How will I live? How will I give money to my children? What will be the fate of my wife or my spouse? So many things crop up in his or her mind, and he's very fearful. And if somebody is fearful, what do? If somebody is fearful, you try and heat the root, that is the Mooladhara chakra. Similarly, if somebody is short of roti, kapda, makan, or the food, the shelter, then what do? The person normally would become violent. If somebody takes your car away and that is the only car which you have, you will fight for the car. However, if you have hundreds of cars and if somebody is taking away one of your cars, you might not be that aggressive. So if somebody turns aggressive because of the insecurity he has or because his basic necessities are not getting fulfilled, then you do healing on the root chakra. Now, as far as the human body is concerned, the basics of human life are eating, shitting, peeing, breathing, and sleeping. So if there is any anomaly in these particular aspects, then you have to do healing on the root chakra. Think of a tree. What is fundamental to a tree? The thing which is fundamental to a tree is the root, because the root is the source of nutrition for the tree. Therefore, the Mooladhara chakra is known as the root chakra. This is also sometimes called the first or the 7th chakra. Why the first chakra? If we start from here, then it becomes the first chakra. If we start from here, it becomes the 7th chakra. So it doesn't really make a difference. Everyone is just referring to the same chakra, whether they call it the first chakra or they call it the 7th chakra. Now, yoga tells us then once we are born, we frame certain objectives for ourselves. In fact, a lot of the literature also deals with why we take a human birth. There might be certain objectives which need to be fulfilled, and that is why they say that we choose a particular time to be born on. So whatever you think about it, maybe that you think that is correct or that isn't correct, maybe people are born and then they finalize what they want to do with their lives. In both the cases, a man or a woman creates some desires and objectives to be fulfilled. And in order that those objectives get fulfilled, the fundamental thing is that we should be able to survive. And there is a word in yoga called abhinivesha. Abhinivesh means the fear of non-existence or death. So if somebody fears death because the desire for survival is fundamental, and whenever survival is threatened, you fear death. And when you fear death, the healing has to be given to the root chakra. So if somebody is facing threats and therefore he or she becomes fearful, we know where to heal. Even a simple organism like a bacteria, it starts to create newer strategies to fight against the new antibodies, which the science is developing over a period of time. It is only here that the famous serpent power, the power of the Kundalini, lies. with a 3.5 fold. And this is something which I have told you because it has some relevance. When I come to level 2, maybe I tell you something which directly synchronizes with the concept of Kundalini. And whenever you have to see the chakras, you don't have to see from the front of the body, but you have to see from the back of the body, because they are located near the backbone. And if you try to measure it from the back area, then the chances of an error would be less. After the Mooladhara chakra, we go a little above, preferably from the behind. Then you get the other chakra, which is called the Swadhisthana chakra, or the Swa Adhisthana. Swa means self, Adhisthana means a place. So this is your place. This is the place where you live. This is what it literally means. And in English, it is called the sacral chakra. Now, some books write that this chakra is located in the coccyx region. No, the very word sacral indicates that it is not located at the coccyx region of the spine, but it is located at the sacral region of the spine. The important thing to understand about the sacral chakra is that it is related with this area, and therefore it is related with the sexual organs. So if somebody is having over desire for sex, or even when your basic needs are fulfilled, that is when you're done with the root chakra, you go out and what do you want to do? You want to acquire things. You want to acquire sex, you want to acquire money, you want to acquire fame. So there are a lot of things which you want to acquire for. So if a person is suffering from excess of sexual desire, excess of anger, excess of greed, excess of ego, then this is the chakra which needs to be healed. Of course, there are other things as well, like if there is anything in this area which has the problem, what can be the organs which are located here? They can be a uterus in case of females. It can be prostate in case of males. Okay, and then the tubes which come from the kidney and ultimately go to the bladder, and then the bladder itself. So if there is any problem related to these particular organs, then you know now that the sacral chakra is the chakra which would need healing. Alright, the next chakra, when we go above, there is a navel, and above the navel, now you have another chakra which is called the Manipur chakra. Mani means a precious stone, and Pur means a place. So the place for precious stones. So here is where all the digestive organs lie. In English, it is called as the solar chakra. Now, the solar chakra, as the word would imply, would have something to do with the heat. And in Ayurveda, a lot of importance is given to the stomach when it comes to maintaining health. They say if the stomach is all right, then everything else would be all right. And then they say that there is something called Jatragani. That means the fire which helps to digest the food which is located in the Jatra. And if that is controlled, Jatra means the liver. And if that is controlled, then the person would be healthy or would return to health. So this Manipur chakra is very important in healing any of the digestive issues, especially issues with organs such as spleen, stomach, gallbladder, liver, and even pancreas. If any person has a problem related to an accident, or sometimes people also suffer from PTSD. Now, what is PTSD? PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. That means if somebody has witnessed bloodshed during his lifetime, then perhaps after some time, maybe like he belongs to a military background, he was in service, he had to participate in a lot of wars, but then it was okay. Later, however, when he sleeps, he gets flashbacks, and because of that, his whole life gets disturbed. So when you face a trauma or you face an accident, then there are certain things which get disturbed in the body, and the traditionalists have given us the wisdom by their deeper contemplations that the Manipur chakra is the first to be disrupted. And it makes sense. Why? Because if something bad happens to you, if you are in stress, the first thing you will face is that you will not feel like eating, you will lose appetite, you will feel like vomiting every time. So the digestive system would be hurt the first. Even in astrology, in order to check health, they check the 5th house. If somebody is deceased and comes to an astrologer and asks when I'll be okay, they just see when the fifth house is going to operate, and then say that yes, this can be solved and this will be solved at this particular date or this particular month. So digestive system becomes paramount, and the Manipur chakra becomes paramount when it comes to any kind of an accident, any kind of a trauma, or any kind of a digestive issue. Now, above the Manipur chakra, right in between the chest cavity, is located the Anahat chakra. Now, what does this Anahat chakra do? Now, Anahat chakra is the seat of all the emotions. It is also called the heart chakra. Now, Anahat, hat means ahat. Ahat means a sound which is produced by two things which rub against other. This is ahat. Ahat also means being hurt. So this hand has hurted this hand and this hand has hurted this hand. Both are hurt. In any case, if this hand beats this hand or this hand beats this hand, both of them will have to absorb a shock, and that is called ahat. But anahat, is a prefix which negates whatever comes ahead of it. So anahat essentially means that a sound is produced without any kind of hurt to anybody, or the two things are not involved. So ahat is this, and anahat is something which the heart does. It doesn't bang against any other thing to produce a sound. If you put your ears here on the left side, then you'll be able to hear the sound of the heart pump, and this sound is not because of any ahat, any hurt, and that is why probably the traditionalist would have named this chakra as a nahat chakra. It is the seed of all emotions. So if somebody has any kind of emotional imbalance, this is the first chakra to be treated. For example, somebody might have lost his or her spouse, or because of any other bereavement to a person who he has been close to, he might suffer an emotional unbalance. So if somebody comes to you and says that the guy lost his mother, he was very close to his mother, and suddenly he developed paralysis, so you would know that the paralysis, it started because of this initial incident of losing the mother. Therefore, you know that somewhere or the other it is an emotional disbalance which is the cause of this paralysis, and therefore you go and heal the heart chakra. Now, which are the organs which lie over here? We have the heart, we have the lungs. So if there is any problem with the circulatory system or the respiratory system, now this is the chakra which needs to get healed. The other thing is that this chakra is also related with the hands. So people who do Reiki, like we are learning how to do Reiki, or people who use their hands to heal other people, including pranic healers and a lot of other practitioners, they need to increase the power of this chakra if they want to become better healers. Now, how do we do it? We have to develop compassion. So we have to have some magnanimity. And if you are a magnanimous, large-hearted individual, then you will develop forgiveness. They say that, we keep silent because we have some relations, and we have some relations because we keep silent. And this is largely true. So the important thing is, what should we do to develop this magnanimity? Now, to develop magnanimity, we must socialize. We must socialize and try to be in company of people who are magnanimous. And slowly and gradually, our heart chakra is going to increase. The love has to be translated and brought out to a level that it turns out to be compassion. Now, what is the difference between love and compassion? So, if 5 people come to me, I say, I love you, I love the A guy, I love the B guy, but I don't love the C, the D, and the E guy. This is called love. Here, my love is dependent upon the other person. Now, I like this guy because of something in the other guy, A guy. I like B guy because of some things in the B guy. I do not like C, D, and E guys because of some things in them. This is love. However, when the cup is full to the brim of love and the love starts to pour down, then it turns into compassion. Now, if A comes or B comes or C comes or D comes or E comes, it does not matter. I will still love him or her. Why? Because the love has turned into compassion. It now is subjective. It is for me, it is no more objective. So one object is there, I am loving, and the other objective I am not loving. It is no more a case. It is subjective. Compassion is a subjective thing. I remember one of the famous poems by John Donne called No Man is an Island. And he used to say that no man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of a continent, a part of the main. And he goes on to say that any man's death diminishes me because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never sent to know for whom the bells toll, because it tolls for thee. So develop some compassion, develop some forgiveness. That is how you develop your heart chakra, and the heart chakra is directly related to your arms. And what wonder your arms can do is something which I'm going to talk about probably in the next 1 or 2 videos. And it is very essential for us to develop this heart chakra if you want to become more than average, a great Reiki healer. Now, after the heart chakra, we move on up to the Vishuddhi chakra. Vishuddhi. It has, Shuddhi means purification. It has to do with something with the purification phenomena. And since it is located in the middle of the throat, it is also called the throat chakra. But it is better that you find the throat chakra from behind, that is from the neck here. Okay. So this is the throat chakra. What does the throat do? It expresses. So if somebody has a problem in expression, in turning their ideas into the actual verbal format, then what do? If somebody has a problem with speech issues, if speech issues are there, or even if somebody wants to increase their presentation skills, public speaking skills, teaching skills, then this is the chakra where you want certain transformation to happen. So you heal and you try to increase the throat chakra. So it is not only that I am telling you about healing, I am also telling you about transformation. So the negative aspect is that we are trying to move from a negative position to a positive position. So in this way, we are trying to heal a negative position. However, sometimes a person does not suffer from a disease, but he wants to become better at something, and Reiki helps here too. So this is the positive dimension of Reiki, that you are moving from a zero position to a positive position. So if somebody is a singer and he or she wants to sing well, what do? You help him sing well by healing the throat chakra as well as the heart chakra, because the lungs are connected with the heart chakra, and better breath will also lead to better singing. The next thing to be understood is that what is the biological issue which a person can face, for which you are going to heal here are issues like cervical. C1 to C7, if somebody is having a problem here, then you heal this chakra. Again, if you have a problem with the thyroid gland, which a lot of people do, they have the hyper or the hypothyroid, then this is the chakra where you have to provide healing. So wherever there are chakras, there are also glands related, and therefore a lot of wise people have thought that glands are a go-between between the body, the physical body, and the energy body. So if you have to move from the energy body to the physical body, they say that you have to move through the glands. Also, scientific evidence for this particular theory is not there. However, that is just a notion which a school of philosophy carries. So wherever there are chakras, there are glands. And for example, now here you have which gland? The thymus gland. near the heart chakra. Similarly, the Manipur chakra at the back side, you have the adrenals, the glands which are related to fatigue, to the ability to manage stress. So if somebody says, oh, I'm feeling very weak, I used to be very strong, very vigorous, but now I have suffered from that disease and I'm really out of energy. Then what you have to do is you have to treat the Manipur chakra, because you have to activate the adrenal glands so that the person has a lot of adrenaline and the person gains vigor. So similarly, if there's a problem with the thyroid gland, you have to treat here in the throat chakra. Again, if it is concerning pituitary gland, you have to heal the third eye chakra, which we'll be doing next. And then if somebody has a problem with the pineal gland, we'll move to the crown chakra, which we'll again study a little later in this video. So as far as the Vishuddhi chakra is concerned, they are mainly concerned with the power of expression, and if somebody has a problem in speaking or vocal issues, then this is the best place to provide healing on. And after this, we move on to the third eye chakra, or the Agya chakra. The Agya means command. So when talking about the spiritual realms, when you give a command, you make a wish and it gets fulfilled. And this is when the Agya chakra is activated. But we are not talking about the activation of Agya chakra. We are just telling, even if it is not activated, what function does it do in the gross body and in the subtle body. In India, there was a tradition of wearing something here they call the bindi, or whenever you go to a Hindu temple, they put here something called a tilak. That is a constant reminder that this is something which needs to be awakened spiritually. And the exact point where, the third eye is located at between the brows, but you can see from the back side. It will be better if you go from the back side, but the position can be found out here better from the front. So this Agya chakra, what will it do? Now, if somebody is having problems with dreams, they are seeing dreams, bad dreams are waking them up, where do you provide healing? You can't provide healing to the hand, to the leg. You can't provide healing to the nose in that case. Where are dreams located? So in that particular case, you heal the third eye chakra. Similarly, any kind of ESP phenomena is healed through the third eye chakra. For example, after the Second World War, there were many cases where, patients would go and they would say that, I have some problem in listening. I am able to listen to a particular radio channel, although the radio channel was not getting played anywhere. That means man has the inherent ability to tune his or her ears to a particular frequency, just like a radio does, but we do not know how to activate it. But if accidentally it has been activated, how do we deactivate it? How do we heal? There is another problem called tinnitus, where people start hearing noises from the ear, and I have solved so many cases of tinnitus. So what you have to do, as well as the world of Reiki is concerned, is you have to provide healing to the third eye chakra. Similarly, there are cases paranormal activities where a person is able to see a ghost, or he is able to see things which you are not able to see. Whether you might believe in it or you don't believe in it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, that guy is in a problem. Whether his problem is real or just perceptual, it doesn't matter. It needs healing. So what do? We heal the third eye chakra. The third eye chakra is also responsible for the observer effect. And what is the observer effect? I am talking to you. This is something which I am doing, but a part of me is watching me talk to you. And therein lies the observer effect. And it is the third eye chakra which is responsible for the observer effect as well. If there is a problem with the master gland, that is the pituitary gland, then you have to heal the third eye chakra. And the knowledge of medical principles, it helps you a lot, because once you study the endocrine system in the medical world, then you really understand that it is something which gets secreted from the adrenals. It goes back to the pituitary, and then the pituitary functions and it secretes something, and it goes on to the thyroid gland, and it commands the thyroid gland to function. Now, if a person is suffering from a problem in the thyroid gland, it might itself be because of the thyroid gland, it might be because of the pituitary gland, and in turn it might be because of the adrenals. So first you try to heal here. If the healing doesn't happen, don't give up. The next thing is to solve the pituitary gland. If it doesn't get healed, don't give up. The next thing is to solve the adrenal glands. Alternatively, if you have some kind of a medical background, or if you are hearing me say all this, then you can go in for a simple test of the adrenal glands and the pituitary gland and the thyroid gland, and you'll come to know which of these glands is in a problem, and first you can try and heal that particular gland, and thyroid probably would get eventually healed by itself. Now, after you are through with the third eye chakra, we move on to some place here, a little 4 to 5 inches above than the top of the head, and therein is the sestrar. Sestrar means 1,000-petaled, or the crown chakra, because this is where you wear a crown. Okay, the crown lands here, but it carries a height of certain inches. So here is the sestrar, or the crown chakra, and the crown chakra function is a very different way than the other chakras. In all the other chakras, the energy, it moves horizontally, but here the energy moves vertically. So what essentially the crown chakra does is it converts the energy which is surrounding us into a usable form called prana or chi, and then it becomes absorbable by the body, and it also, since the energy droops down, it also makes sure that the energy covers all of our body, and that covering is called an aura. And this is how all the other chakras receive the energy. And then the energy goes down, and again there are certain chakras on the feet, they convert it back into the non-consumable form of energy, and the energy then again goes in the environment around us. So this is the energy cycle of the chakras. Now, if a person suffers from serious ailments, like those ailments which are not detectable or not solvable, so either they can't be detected or they are detected but can be solved because we don't understand from where they are, then the first place to provide a healing is the crown chakra. In the crown chakra, it is also related to the pineal gland, and pineal gland is the only one gland which does not come in a pair of two. All other glands have two similar parts, whether it is the adrenals, or it is the thymus, or it is the thyroid, or it is the pituitary. All of them have two identical parts. Now, pineal gland is the only gland which does not have two parts, and therefore many of the people think of this as the seat of soul. Again, it does not have a scientific validity, but it is just a philosophical thought. And today's philosophy becomes tomorrow's science. So there are some things which I say in between which belongs purely to the philosophical field, but then this gives us a clue sometimes when certain kind of diseases are not getting solved by the medical science. How should we work on those cases? At least we should have a clue. So they help us in forming certain calculated guesses in order to form an opinion and a treatment method for Reiki healing. All right. So also, when the sheath, that is the aura, is disturbed in a particular portion of the body, then the body comes directly in contact with the environment, which also causes a burnout and causes a serious disease in that particular part of the body. And that is why, these aura healers, they also turn out to be very effective because they work on the aura. They want to again have a nice sheath covering the body, a healthy sheath. And what Reiki healers can do is they can just increase the power of the sestrar chakra so that more energy flows, and wherever there's a deficiency in the sheath, that gets covered up. Now, those people who have mastered the art of meridians and the energy system of the chakras, they believe, or they say that Meridians are at the superficial level and of the energy system of the human body, and chakras are at a more deeper level. If somebody has an energy blockage in either the chakras or the meridians, generally the methods prescribed for them to get rid of the problem are pranayama in yoga, or meditation, or Reiki. Now the problem with the other two methods is, that is pranayama or meditation, is that the person himself has to do these, and the person might not be in the right frame of mind or the right frame of body to do it. He's very old, or there's a problem in the back, so he can't lie down well, or he's in constant pain, so he can't do that. But the benefit of Reiki is that you can do it on the self and you can do it on the other person. So even if a person is not interested in meditation or in pranayama, then you can say, okay, you come to me, I'll help you cleanse that chakra. So a lot can be said about the world of chakras, and there are so many people who have so deeper knowledge about the internal workings of these chakras. However, whatever was necessary for me to tell you so that you become a nice, wonderful Reiki healer, that much I have shared with you. Now the next question is how to use this information about chakras and about meridians to heal ourselves and to heal other people around us. And that is exactly what we are going to talk in our next videos. Till then, bye-bye.